What's up, guys? Myself from Big D Vape Academy here again today. Lovely Tuesday in upstate New York. Got a couple inches of snow, got some freezing rain. So it's going to make for a good day at home. And of course, it's kids' vacation, so if you hear them in the background, that's what it is. All four little girls are home today, so it's going to be one hell of a day. But today, I have a box mod review for you. And yes, I know. I said J&J was going to be my first mod review. They will be up soon as well, but this one required some special attention. As some of you may know, I host a Vapors.tv show on Team No Steep called The Vape Pub with Big D and Twitch. And Ronin Box mods came in to our show last Tuesday, and they were discussing their products. Now, my co-host, Twitch, or Ryan, he's actually sponsored by Ronin. And, you know, I was like, all right, man, that's cool. Didn't know much about their mods. Never tested one, played with one. He ended up getting a really, really nice unregulated parallel from them. But what sets them apart from every other mod maker so far that I've seen is they use full PCB boards. And I'll get into what that is. So I'll show you. This is the box they sent me from, there's two owners, Joe and Bruce. Bruce, I believe, is retired Army. I don't think he's still in the Army, but very high ranking in the Army. Great guy. Both of them great people. Had some chats with them throughout the week. I mean, there was a bit of controversy on it, but we moved past that. So, and I'll show you. Joe sent me his personal series box, unregulated series. This one is the Punisher edition. And I will say, outside first impressions. Here we go. The laser etching is absolutely flawless. You can clearly tell that's Punisher with his gun. And then you see the 002 serial number. You get to the side here, Punisher skull down the side, that's my personal favorite part of this box. And then this is just kind of like a street scene with some smoke fire and the Punisher skull once again there. Sorry, it's kind of hard, you know, everything's reverse image, but so let me pop my batteries out of here and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with PCB board. Now, I didn't know what PCB board was before I started talking to these guys, and I went through and I talked to about 3 or 4 different mod makers. Some of them don't use PCB, any PCB board. Some of them use a little bit of PCB board. This is a PCB board. What PCB stands for is, what is it again? Let me think here. Of course, I try and come prepared, and this is what happens. I just forget everything. Whatever, I'm sure I'll think of it in a second. Basically, this takes place of all the wiring. Typically, you would have a whole mess of wires up here, going down the side of your MOSFETs, going to your switches. Literally, the only wire there is the one going to the 510 connection, and also there's a positive going to the 510 and a negative going to the 510. The sleds are built right into the PCB board. And the sleds are they take a little getting used to. But basically, it says positive and negative right on it. Put that one in the way it says to go. Put that one in the way it says to go. And they have a ton of safety features on these. You'll notice down the center here, these brown squares, those are actually fuses. And what those are supposed to help protect is, in the event you've built too low, and you could potentially vent your batteries, these are supposed to pick up and blow the fuses before allowing your batteries to vent. Now, if you've put your batteries in correctly, forgot sometimes you got to reset it after you take batteries in. This also features a master on-off switch right here. Little red switch. Pushes right in. Now if you put your batteries in correctly, it'll light up green and it'll fire. Now, last night, I was up till about 2 a.m. We did a super show on TNS with a couple of us hosts, drinking a little bit. Wife and I watched The Shining. I had put my battery in wrong, and this happened. Well, let's see if I can recreate it. Maybe last night was a fluke. Well, they have a red light if you put your batteries in wrong. I'm not getting a red light. These connections for the batteries, you got to kind of fidget with them a little bit. They have on their website where they tell you how to exactly like move them around. I guess there's some adjustability on the clips, and it allows you to adjust them so your batteries are in proper contact. Having a little bit of an issue here. Let me just try and adjust these back down. There we go. We're firing again. Well, last night I had both the negatives up, wasn't paying attention. The red light went on, and the mod started auto-firing. And it actually did it live while I was on the Super Show. Skyline E-Liquids noticed it and goes like, dude, you're auto-firing. I was like, yeah, I know, that's crazy, because it's supposed to protect against that. So I don't know if it was just a one-off thing. May certainly have been. I haven't had it happen again or before. But so then I got the website pulled up. I came a little prepared today. Typically I don't come prepared because I don't believe in being prepared. I believe in flying by the seat of my pants. But this is some technical shit. I mean, as you can tell, I can't even remember what the fuck PCB stands for. But so their cases, amazing finish on the cases. The internals look super clean. Still trying to get used to the whole chip board in there without the wires. You know, just when you're used to something for so long and then you change to something else. It's a series. So running 8.4 volts. I do have some freshly charged batteries in here. I'm running my AdiCube Raiwa Topo. One of my new favorite RTAs to date. Or RDAs to date. And just a simple 24 gauge, I think it's 9 rad, comes like 0.32, 0.31. And it hits nice. You know, nice, thick, dense. I will also say this about it. Because of the PCB board, that helps with eliminating voltage drop. Now, I don't know if it's because of the elimination of voltage drop. Like, it's such a negligible amount, it doesn't even matter. I have a hard time telling when my batteries are getting low. In all of my other unregulated mods, you can literally feel when your batteries are getting low. You feel it on your hit, your pull, you're not getting as much vapor production. That's usually when it tells you, hey, it's time to change batteries. This hit the very same until 3.4. I took my batteries out. I was like, man, you know, I've been using these batteries almost 2 days. I should probably throw them on the charger. And 3.4. So I was kind of surprised. A little morning coffee. But there wasn't any loss of power. Maybe it's just me imagining things. But I didn't feel any loss of power. So what I'll do now for you guys is I'll go through and I'll read the website, give you the website, and I'll tell you what they put on it. Now, real quick before I do that, here's where the controversy stood on my show last week with Twitch. So Ronin came in and he was telling us about his box mods, and I think it was really just taken out of context, but Joe from Ronin had made some bold statements about the abilities of his boxes, and I really think it was taken out of context, and here's why. So he stated last week that the box can go down safely series box to 0.15. Now, if you know Ohm's law, you know that is way above proper amp ratings for your batteries. So, you know, curious me, I'm sitting there going, well, what do you mean it can go down 0.15 on a series? I wouldn't go below a 0.3. That's just asking for me to blow my fingers and face off. And, you know, he was stating, you know, the PCB board kind of, the way it's built, the quality of it, you can go low. Well, what it turned out to actually be was it was tested down to 0.15. On the website and in person, if they ever talk to you, they will tell you, we recommend you staying about 0.3. I will say, I like being a guinea pig. I like doing things for science. I took this, they tested it down to a 0.15. I took it down to a 0.14. I put my Zephyr boot on here with the baby aliens that I normally run on my series pulse width box. Now, with a pulse width box, it's okay because you can turn that sucker down and you're not running full board amps. With a completely unregulated series, though, with no pulse width mod, you're getting that full unrelenting force of 8.4 volts or wherever your batteries are at. So I put in freshly charged batteries and I put it 0.14 on it. Now, I asked a couple box modders, like I said, I spoke to a few earlier in the week. Is it safe to do? Can I do it safely without blowing my hand off, even if it's for a 1-second pulse? Do you feel that it would work? And one of them said, kind of down the middle, like, well, yeah, you can put a 0.15 on anything. It doesn't mean it's going to stay intact, and you know you're not going to hurt yourself. And I'd say the box modder that I trust the most, these people are all going to rename nameless. I'm not going to name names. It was for the sake of science. He said, absolutely. You could absolutely take that down to a 0.15. He goes, all you got to do is make sure your batteries aren't getting hot. The PCB board isn't getting hot. You know? And I took his word as gospel because this guy knows his shit, and I can't stress that more. Can't get into detail why he knows his shit or what his credentials are because it kind of names names, but he knows his shit. So I said, all right, good enough for me. Then I'll do it. So, put 0.14 in there. Batteries didn't get hot. PCB board didn't get hot. Mod didn't get hot. It was a very, very, very hot bait. But I touched one of the contacts. So, you know, I was just kind of feeling around in the mod saying, like, okay, is this getting warm? Is this getting warm? The contact was searing hot. I mean, literally made me jump out of my seat. So, can it be ran at a 0.15? It will fire at a 0.15. I do not suggest running this at a 0.15 for an extending period of time whatsoever. You may be able to get away with a 0.28 and above, but honestly, people, is it worth the risk? I mean, I get monster pulls off of 0.32. And it's an excellent bait. It really, really is. You know, and yeah, you know, part of it's the RDA, but you feel the power from the box. That's where the box comes in. You know, that's where you get your power. That's where you get the mojo. So what I'll do for you guys is I'll give you talk a little bit about a website. We'll swing over there, and it's literally quite easy on the website. RoninBoxMods.com. You can't mess that up. So, the Unregulated Series PCB Box Mod, their retail price is $140, which is pretty much right on par with any high-end box maker. If I'm shopping for a good unregulated box, I know it's going to run me between $100 to $200, maybe above, depending on what's inside of it. So you go down the list, and here's your options. You get the anodized enclosure color. They have a ton of color options: black, red, dark blue, teal, gold, pink, green, purple, orange, and unfinished aluminum. Then you get your enclosure size. Now there's only one enclosure side, and that's the Hammond G+. Well, it's a CNC mill. It's not a Hammond box. Let me get that right first off. It's 1061 milled aluminum enclosure G+. Then you get 3 choices for firing switches: 12mm black, 12mm stainless, or like this one has the stainless steel dome tack switch. And then the enclosure finish, anodized finished enclosure color. And then they have upload links, and you can upload the lid, the artwork for the lid, and also the artwork for the back. And now there's a little comment section for additional information comments. I'm sure for a couple extra bucks, maybe another 10, 20 bucks or whatever, you can have stuff down the sides. So then you go down and there's a description. And the description reads thus: Unregulated series PCB box with a reverse battery protection and indicator LEDs, which would be the green light when your batteries are in right, your red light when they're not. They list it has a 195 amp output MOSFET, onboard battery clips for reduced voltage drop, fusing to protect from battery shorts, reverse battery protection with red LED indicator, which I've touched on, green firing LED indicator, which I've also touched on, master switch to disable firing of box mod. That's one thing I really like. I like an unregulated box that gives me the option to master on-off switch. Why? I work a lot. I work about 12-hour days. And when I'm carrying my box around, the one thing I'm constantly worried about is auto-firing. With my J&J, I don't have to worry about that, simply because these dome tactile switches kind of prevent that. Now, granted, if you have shit in your pocket, like if you're rolling around with a unicorn bottle, the next thing you know, they're in your pocket, you're doing some work-intensive stuff, you might actually fire it. It's few and far between, but I mean, yeah. Low fire resistance, 0.2 ohms. Use high drain batteries, and you should know Ohm's law. Now, this is the part of the website that I kind of have an issue with. They tell their customers right up front, we suggest 0.3 ohms or above, but the website says 0.2. Honestly, I would suggest changing that. At least bring it up to 0.28 or higher. Simply because you don't want a new guy getting their hands on one of these boxes from a buddy, or if they order it from the website, you have no idea. And they're like, oh man, I can put a 0.2 on a series? I'm going to chuck that. And then they do, and they don't pay attention, and shit's getting hot. They're blowing their fuses and melting their batteries and all that good stuff. Then 3-year warranty on any product defect that was not caused by the end user, which is another great feature. There aren't that many box mod makers out there that will give you a warranty, A, period, B, that long. And as long as you're not being an idiot, like if you don't run it over, they're not going to fix your box. However, say if for some reason it just stops working, they'll fix your box. If a connection comes loose, they'll fix your box. And then they have a little disclaimer. It says, for the sub-ohm impedance builds, users should instruct to use Ohm's law calculators and practice extreme battery safety. The mod has a lot of safety features incorporated in the design. And they give you an Ohm's law calculator link to Steam Engine, which is good. Actually, I kind of hate Steam Engine, partially because it just feels to me like it's so difficult to use. I have one on my phone that works great, very simple. You know, that's the website. They also do, let's see here. We'll take a quick gander. Let's go to the regulated box ones. They do regulateds too. They have a T-Raptor 120 amp for 200, a T10 60 watt for 160, T20 Cloud Comp mod, 110 watt 20 amp for 200 bucks. And then they're on regulateds, of course. You got a series and a parallel. Then they have a DIY PCB board, a DIY T10B 2.0 board. So I think basically what that does is it just, I don't know, maybe you do your own PCB board. You know, if you're making your own boxes at home, they send you an already pre-made PCB board for the T10, and you just put it in, solder your connections, do what you got to do. Custom etched enclosures. So for 30 bucks, you can get a custom etched enclosure. And the one they have here is a Freddy Krueger one, which looks very wonderful, by the way. Then they offer Addy repair service. And they have a They have a guy in here you can call and contact, and I guess he fixes atomizers that are broken or stripped, or it'd be good for you authentic users. I use a few authentics myself. Then they have a link to some e-juice for 4-cog vapor, sugar skull drip, and dystopia vapors. And then they have a little listing for Addies RDAs, and they have the comp vape slash twisted messes on here. Then up the top, you got the home, the about us, the gift registry, my account, contact us, follow our Facebook, follow our Instagram. Just a generalized website. Website looks good, looks clean, looks efficient. I mean, I feel like it'd be pretty easy. The only thing I could really suggest, it may be a little difficult, is when a customer makes an order and they upload their file for the pictures they want on the side of the box, it doesn't give you really any dimensions. I don't know if they resize the image for you, if they're going to make sure that the image comes out crystal clear for you. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to put an image on a box that looks like absolute garbage because, well, it's a Ronin box. It's their box. They don't want their boxes to look like garbage. They want them looking like amazing. So I'm sure they do it, but I still think there should be like a size on there, or like a we'll contact you via email or phone to discuss your picture quality, your size, and what we can do for you, and just really customer and maker interaction. But all in all, it's a great box mod. I like it. It feels good in the hand. Their laser etching is beyond beautiful. Hits hard. Yeah, it's different. I'm used to wired mods. This is a PCB. Printed circuit board. There we go. I remembered. Printed circuit board. Ha! I knew I'd remember. But it works. It's a mod. It's a great mod. Would I purchase one? Yes, I would purchase one. Would I run around putting a 0.15 on it all day? Not a fucking chance in hell. 0.3, maybe 0.28. It's a great mod. Check them out. RoninBoxMods.com. RoninBoxMods.com. I didn't have any issues with atomizer sitting flush. All my atomizers work just fine. It's got a little notch for your battery door. Just simple little things that just make life so much easier. Yeah, that's really all I got for you guys on this Ronin Box mod. Now, they are going to be on my show tonight. Again, so we can discuss this kind of face-to-face, so to speak, over the internet. We're going to discuss the box mods. We're going to discuss a little bit of the controversy last week. We had another modder come into the chat room who, I think like I said, I think a lot of things were taken out of context. I think he felt that Joe from Ronin was saying, oh yeah, you can run a 0.15 on it all day and it's safe and it's great and you won't blow your batteries up, which we all know when you're pushing high amp ratings. You don't know what's going to happen. It's going to become volatile. So I really think that was taken out of context. And hopefully we're going to have Bruce on tonight, the other half of Ronin Box Mods. I'm really interested in talking with him. I've talked to Joe a lot this week. I'm really interested in talking with Bruce. I've chatted with him a little bit. I haven't gotten on camera with him at all. But it's good. So if you guys are in the market for an unregulated box, you want something a little bit different, and you want to check out a PCB board, just check out Ronin. Tell them Big D sent you. So I know, as always, I say I'm going to have a few reviews up today. That is truthfully what I'm shooting for because I am way behind on juice reviews. I got a cotton review to do that I've been talking about that I was going to do. I got a new toy in. I got a copper 18650 Scatua, which I'm very excited about. I'm not going to review the Scatua. Why? Because it's a mech mod. All mech mods work the same. We all know how they work. I'm just very, very proud that I am now an owner of number 354, which is a very, very low serial number to have considering they're up in the, I think they're up in the 800s now. So check them out. Come by the stream tonight. vapors.tv/teamnosteep. You guys got a question, feel free to ask it in the chat. Feel free to message me on Facebook. You can find me at Matthew Salter. Find me at Big D Vape Academy. Find me in Convicted Vapes or in Team No Steep. You want to ask me a question, not a big deal. And I'll be happy to answer them. I'm home all day. I got the day off today. Like I said, we got a couple of, maybe about a foot of snow out there that's turning into freezing rain and ice, so I don't really foresee me leaving the house today at all. So I'll be able to bang out a couple of these reviews. So